Yo, yo, what's up? It's your boy Stocks B, man. And today, I want you guys to react with me to the Joel Embiid situation with him addressing his fans, venting his frustration with the media, the critics, and just the general fan base of the NBA in total, saying that he doesn't want to play or he's not willing to put himself out there and play for his team. Let's go ahead and check out what Joel Embiid has to say right quick about that.
I've done it. From what I can tell you, I've broken my face twice. I came back early with the risk of losing my vision. Had broken fingers. I still came back. So I'm not gonna sit here and be when I see people saying he doesn't want to play. I've been way too much. I've done way too much, for this city, and putting myself at risk, for people to be saying that. So I do think he's like that dude. He's not here, Marcus, whatever his name is. I've done way too much for this city to be treated like this. So we've done way too much. But like I said, I wish I was as lucky as other ones, but that doesn't mean that I'm not trying and, I'm not, doing whatever it takes to be out there, which I'm going to be.
So my thing is, like I said, what Joel Embiid is saying, it's I'm not sure about the guy name they talk about. It's the reporter that they're talking about right here. He got into altercation with the guy. I guess he pushed him. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that in a short second. We're gonna go ahead and talk about that. But my thing with Joel Embiid is that he is frustrated about people saying that he doesn't want to play, and this isn't just a reporter. This is coming from multiple sources. This is coming from fans. This is coming from the fans in the city, the fans of basketball. This is coming from critics, and it's just coming from a lot of people that's questioning why isn't Joel Embiid taking the floor? Why isn't he suiting up with the rest of his team in the beginning of this season when he had the whole year off to get his body in order and he was rehabilitated. Now, for someone like me, I've jumped out of a window. I mean, excuse me. Well, I fell out of a window, and I broke my hip and I broke my wrist. As you can see, I have the scar right here on my wrist. So I fell out of a window 3 flights, and it took me. I was in the hospital for 31 days, just getting my hip back together. I couldn't. I was bed rest for 31 days. I couldn't move, and it took me about another 30 days to learn how to walk, and to rehab, and just learning how to get back up and down the stairs. I had to learn how to walk over again, walking from the end of the hall to the other end of the hall. And you know after you go through a traumatic situation like that, you start to question what you can do. You question your ability. And I know with me, if what can I lift? Because with my wrist being broken, I actually shattered my wrist, and this is actually right here. This part of my bone is actually part of my hip. And like I said, I'm gonna click on the next video. I don't want to take up too much time explaining this, but this is actually part of my hip. So being that I shattered my wrist, a lot of things I do question if I can lift up certain amount of weight. If I can I lift up this couch? Can I lift up a big screen TV, or maybe help lift up a stove or a refrigerator or something like that, an air conditioner by myself? Certain things I question whether I can do. So I understand Joel Embiid questioning what he can do on his knee or what he can't do on his knee. So yeah, that's the reason I believe that his frustrating. I believe that he's frustrating. I mean, he's venting his frustration in the wrong direction towards the fans. It's not just the city. It's not just this one reporter. It's a lot of us that would love to see you get back out there and display your talent and be the best athlete. I'm a fan of New York Knicks. He had a very amazing playoff run against us last year with half an eye and on one leg, and this man went out there and scored 50 points and damn near took the 76ers past New York, with I would say we had a few more players. But him and Tyrese Maxey alone almost did a hell of a job getting past the Knicks. And so we just want to see that talent back out there. You know, I don't care if it's against the Knicks, if it's against the Celtics, it's against the Lakers. I just want to see all of our players at the best of their ability. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much about that. Let's go ahead and click on this video so we can see what happened with him and the reporter. I believe he pushed the reporter or shoved.
If you're looking to sell your car, Carvana will give you a real offer.
I believe he shoved the reporter or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that out right quick. Let's see what that's about. No thanks.
After their loss versus the Memphis Grizzlies. And before we get into what happened in the locker room during the altercation, this actually wasn't just a random situation that Embiid named after his little brother who tragically passed
So
play.
yeah, this
and
is
his
pretty much
injury.
this is pretty much what I was saying. What I was saying was, you know, I forgot the guy's name. You know, it's a reporter, and he basically he wrote an article and he made a mention of Joel Embiid's brother and his late son, who both passed away, and I guess Joel Embiid didn't take to it too kindly. So when he seen the guy, you know, after the guy done criticized him a few times, I guess he didn't see him. He bumped into him, and it wasn't no words. I guess Joel Embiid just put the hands on him. From what they're saying Joel Embiid shoved him, but then you got reports out there saying that Joel Embiid punched him. However, the NBA is investigating it, so I can't really confirm either or right now at this point. But let me see if I can't find that article. Well, here you go. I believe you'll get more from this right here.
Sixers, we have some breaking news coming out of Philadelphia this evening. It's bringing our NBA insider, Shams Shanaria. And Shams, there was an altercation evidently between Joel Embiid and a member of the media there in Philadelphia after the game. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Michael, so from what I'm told, essentially right after the game tonight in Philadelphia, the Grizzlies beat the 76ers, as we just saw right there. And Joel Embiid, and a columnist who recently wrote a column on Joel Embiid and referenced his late brother and his son, they got into a verbal back and forth. They had an emotional moment in that locker room, and it turned into a physical altercation. From what I'm told, Joel Embiid shoved that columnist, and now sources tell me, and a league spokesperson tells me, that the NBA has commenced an investigation into the situation. They're aware of the reports, and they are starting an investigation into Joel Embiid shoving a columnist and getting into a physical altercation with a columnist in the locker room. I'm told that there was a lot of yelling, and then security, other members of the team got involved in that situation to break it up. But Joel Embiid got into a physical altercation, shoving a columnist in the postgame locker room tonight.
Obviously an unfortunate incident anytime you have players and members of the media or anyone get into any type of physical confrontation. But we've seen the frustration starting to grow there in Philadelphia, Shams, as of late. Obviously with the fan base upset that, the team is now 1-4. Neither Embiid nor Paul George have played. We heard Embiid give his remarks talking about the fans earlier. He felt a little disrespected how they treated him based on what he's done for them. But the real question is, when will he and or Paul George be back on the court for the Sixers and see if they can turn this thing around?
Joel Embiid has been ramping up. On Friday, he did his third 5-on-5 scrimmage over the last week, but that was the first time he did 5-on-5 with all of his teammates. And from everything I'm told, this is a step in the right direction for Joel Embiid. It's expected that he is going to be back sooner rather than later for the 76ers. But of course, without him, they have not gotten off to a great start this season. They're struggling. They've had multiple routes over the last week, and they need him back. Paul George also went through 5-on-5 on Friday, and there is optimism on his status as the team goes on the road on this road trip for both Embiid and Paul George. But after tonight and another investigation, the league has already investigated the 76ers for their player participation policy situation, the fact that they've sat Joel Embiid to start the season and what went into that. They got fined $100,000, and now the NBA is commencing another investigation into him getting into a physical altercation, shoving a columnist in the locker room.
And again, things are not well in Philadelphia. Shams Shanaria with the very latest.
All in the beginning of the season.
Involving Joel Embiid and a member of the local media there in Philadelphia. Shams, appreciate it.
and this is all in the beginning of the season. So, as he just mentioned, it is heavily, you know, the city of Philly, but it's everybody in general that's wondering, when is Joel Embiid going to suit up? When is Joel Embiid going to take the floor? So I understand he's frustrated. I understand sometimes you have to have thick skin when you're at a certain level in your career. You know, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're a athlete, you know, when you get to a certain level of career and you're really that public figure, you have to learn to be more humble in certain situations. You have to learn that line and that boundary not to cross. And I believe that with his fan base, this is, the writing may be on the wall because they're already frustrated. It shows. And now this is, I believe, the second time that he's lashed out at his fan base there in Philly. And like, I'm from New York City. We have one of the toughest fan bases, and if you give us some bad days and some bad months, we'll start to boo you. We'll request that you get traded. So I understand how it is to be from a tough fan base because yes, I have taken part in that. I've seen players, and I'm not gonna mention no names, that I think that this player should be gone. I think this player should be here. I think that this player, let's boo him and let's see if that picks him up. One of the prime examples is a player that we just lost, Julius Randle, which was a great player, a great New York Knick. I know a lot of people was like, he needed to go, and there was times where I felt like Julius Randle was holding the team back. 2-time All-Star. He started picking his game up in the last few years, and he really got better, really matured, and really got stronger, and he grew into the person that we wanted to see him be in his first couple of years. So, however, what Julius Randle did was, when Julius Randle took that criticism and it made him a stronger New York Knicks player. Now, a lot of the fans in New York City was on the fence about whether they wanted him to go or whether they wanted him to stay. The Dante DiVincenzo situation and all of that. But we all can agree that Julius Randle did become a tougher player and became a pretty much a 2-time All-Star after the city booed him and made him chuck up his middle finger. It made him play much harder. It made him become a much more physical player, much more stronger, determined. And when you want to do something like that, that's what you have to prove. Don't prove it by venting your frustration. Julius Randle did that one time, and what happened after that? He didn't do it again. After that, he proved it on the court. He went out there and he put his stats up, and he made it so that not only was he better in himself, he was better in his team and better in the players around him. So yes, there is always room for that development, and I know a lot of people gonna hate me for saying that. Julius Randle, he should have been gone, and this, that, and the third. But your opinion is your opinion. I respect that. I don't have anything against that. I'm just saying that when Julius Randle got here, he the blogs, the rumors, it was out there. He heard that. He seen the tweets. He read the articles, and he seen the reports. Fans want him traded. The fans want him gone. He threw up the finger. It got to him. And then after a while, he built from that. He learned. He got stronger. He humbled himself. He learned to get humble. And I think that's the same thing that Joel Embiid has to do in this situation. So let's go ahead and move on to something else I believe is a little more entertaining.